harsh or discordant sound or combination of sounds or tones. Cadaverous, resembling a corpse. Cadence, rhythmical or measured flow or movement, as in poetry, or the time and pace of marching troops. Cadenza, an embellishment or flourish, prepared or improvised for a solo voice or instrument. Caitiff, cowardly. Cajole, to impose on or dupe by flattering speech. Cajolery, delusive speech. Calculable, that which may be estimated by reckoning. Calculus, a concretion formed in various parts of the body resembling a pebble in hardness. Callosity, the state of being hard and insensible. Callow, without experience of the world. Calorie, amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water 1 degree centigrade. Calumny, slander. Calvary, the place where Christ was crucified. Calvinism, the system of doctrine taught by John Calvin. Calvinize, to teach or imbue with the doctrines of Calvinism. Came, a leaden sash bar or grooved strip for fastening panes in stained glass windows. Cameo, any small engraved or carved work in relief. Campaign, a complete series of connected military operations. Canaanite, a member of one of the 3 tribes that dwelt in the land of Canaan, or western Palestine. Canary, of a bright but delicate yellow. Candid, straightforward. Candor, the quality of frankness or outspokenness. Canine, characteristic of a dog. Canon, any rule or law. Cant, to talk in a sing-song, preaching tone with affected solemnity. Cantata, a choral composition. Canto, one of the divisions of an extended poem. Cantonment, the part of the town or district in which the troops are quartered. Capacious, roomy. Capillary, a minute vessel having walls composed of a single layer of cells. Capitulate, to surrender or stipulate terms. Caprice, a whim. Caption, a heading, as of a chapter, section, document, etc. Captious, hypercritical. Captivate, to fascinate as by excellence, eloquence, or beauty. Carcass, the dead body of an animal. Cardiac, pertaining to the heart. Cardinal, of prime or special importance. Caret, an arrow-like symbol placed below a line indicating where omitted words, etc., should be inserted. Caricature, a picture or description in which natural characteristics are exaggerated or distorted. Carnage, massacre. Carnal, sensual. Carnivorous, eating or living on flesh. Carouse, to drink deeply and in boisterous or jovial manner. Carrion, dead and putrefying flesh. Cartilage, an elastic animal tissue of firm consistence. Cartridge, a charge for a firearm or for blasting. Caste, the division of a society on artificial grounds. Castigate, to punish. Casual, accidental, by chance. Casualty, a fatal or serious accident or disaster. Cataclysm, any overwhelming flood of water. Cataract, opacity of the lens of the eye, resulting in complete or partial blindness. Catastrophe, any great and sudden misfortune or calamity. Cathode, the negative pole or electrode of a galvanic battery. Catholicism, the system, doctrine, and practice of the Roman Catholic Church. Catholicity, universal prevalence or acceptance. Cat-o'-nine tails, an instrument consisting of 9 pieces of cord, formerly used for flogging in the Army and Navy. Caucus, a private meeting of members of a political party to select candidates. Causal, indicating or expressing a cause. Caustic, sarcastic and severe. Cauterize, to burn or sear as with a heated iron. Cede, to pass title to. Censor, an official examiner of manuscripts empowered to prohibit their publication. Censorious, judging severely or harshly. Census, an official numbering of the people of a country or district. Centenary, pertaining to 100 years or a period of 100 years. Centiliter, 1/100th of a liter. Centimeter, a length of 1/100th of a meter. Centurion, a captain of a company of 100 infantry in the ancient Roman army. Cereal, pertaining to edible grain or farinaceous seeds. Ceremonial, characterized by outward form or ceremony. Ceremonious, observant of ritual. Cessation, discontinuance as of action or motion. Cession, surrender as of possessions or rights. Chagrin, keen vexation, annoyance, or mortification as at one's failures or errors. Chameleon, changeable in appearance. Chancery, a court of equity as distinguished from a common law court. Chaos, any condition of which the elements or parts are in utter disorder and confusion. Characteristic, a distinctive feature. Characterize, to describe by distinctive marks or peculiarities. Charlatan, a quack. Chasm, a yawning hollow, as in the earth's surface. Chasten, to purify by affliction. Chastise, to subject to punitive measures. Chastity, sexual or moral purity. Chateau, a castle or manor house. Chattel, any article of personal property. Check, to hold back. Chiffon, a very thin gauze used for trimmings, evening dress, etc. Chivalry, the knightly system of feudal times with its code, usages, and practices. Cholera, an acute epidemic disease. Choleric, easily provoked to anger. Choral, pertaining to, intended for, or performed by a chorus or choir. Christ, a title of Jesus. Christen, to name in baptism. Christendom, that part of the world where Christianity is generally professed. Chromatic, belonging, relating to, or abounding in color. Chronology, the science that treats of computation of time or of investigation and arrangement of events. Chronometer, a portable timekeeper of the highest attainable precision. Circulate, to disseminate. Circumference, the boundary line of a circle. Circumlocution, indirect or roundabout expression. Circumnavigate, to sail quite around. Circumscribe, to confine within bounds. Circumspect, showing watchfulness, caution, or careful consideration. Citadel, any strong fortress. Cite, to refer to specifically. Claimant, one who makes a claim or demand, as of right. Clairvoyance, intuitive sagacity or perception. Clamorous, urgent in complaint or demand. Clan, a tribe. Clandestine, surreptitious. Clangor, clanking or a ringing as of arms, chains, or bells, clamor. Clarify, To render intelligible. Clarion, a small shrill trumpet or bugle. Classify, to arrange in a class or classes on the basis of observed resemblances and differences. Clearance, a certificate from the proper authorities that a vessel has complied with the law and may sail. Clemency, mercy. Clement, compassionate. Close-hauled, having the sail set for sailing as close to the wind as possible. Clothier, one who makes or sells cloth or clothing. Clumsy, awkward of movement. Coagulate, to change into a clot or a jelly, as by heat, by chemical action, or by a ferment. Coagulant, producing coagulation. Coalescence, the act or process of coming together so as to form one body, combination, or product. Coalition, combination in a body or mass. Coddle, to treat as a baby or an invalid. Codicil, a supplement adding to, revoking, or explaining in the body of a will. Coerce, to force. Coercion, forcible constraint or restraint, moral or physical. Coercive, serving or tending to force. Cogent, appealing strongly to the reason or conscience. Cognate, akin. Cognizant, taking notice. Cohere, to stick together. Cohesion, consistency. Cohesive, having the property of consistency. Coincide, to correspond. Coincidence, a circumstance so agreeing with another, often implying accident. Coincident, taking place at the same time. Collaborate, to labor or cooperate with another or others, especially in literary or scientific pursuits. Collapse, to cause to shrink, fall in, or fail. Collapsible, that which may or can collapse. Colleague, an associate in professional employment. Collective, consisting of a number of persons or objects considered as gathered into a mass or sum. Collector, one who makes a collection, as of objects of art, books, or the like. Collegian, a college student. Collide, to meet and strike violently. Collier, one who works in a coal mine. Collision, violent contact. Colloquial, pertaining or peculiar to common speech, as distinguished from literary. Colloquialism, form of speech used only or chiefly in conversation. Colloquy, conversation. Collusion, a secret agreement for a wrongful purpose. Colossus, any strikingly great person or object. Comely, handsome. Comestible, fit to be eaten. Comical, funny. Commemorate, to serve as a remembrance of. Commentary, a series of illustrative or explanatory notes on any important work. Commingle, to blend. Commissariat, the department of an army charged with the provision of its food and water and daily needs. Commission, to empower. Commitment, the act or process of entrusting or consigning for safekeeping. Committal, the act, fact, or result of committing, or the state of being. Commodity, something that is bought and sold. Commotion, a disturbance or violent agitation. Commute, to put something, especially something less severe, in place of. Comparable, fit to be compared. Comparative, relative. Comparison, examination of two or more objects with reference to their likeness or unlikeness. Compensate, to remunerate. Competence, adequate qualification or capacity. Competent, qualified. Competitive, characterized by rivalry. Competitor, a rival. Complacence, satisfaction with one's acts or surroundings. Complacent, pleased or satisfied with oneself. Complacence, politeness. Complacent, agreeable. Complement, to make complete. Complex, complicated. Compliant, yielding. Complicate, to make complex, difficult, or hard to deal with. Complication, an intermingling or combination of things or parts, especially in a perplexing manner. Complicity, participation or partnership, as in wrongdoing or with a wrongdoer. Compliment, to address or gratify with expressions of delicate praise. Component, a constituent element or part. Comport, to conduct or behave oneself. Composure, calmness. Comprehensible, intelligible. Comprehension, ability to know. Comprehensive, large in scope or content. Compress, to press together or into smaller space. Compressible, capable of being pressed into smaller compass. Compression, constraint as by force or authority. Comprise, to consist of. Compulsion, coercion. Compulsory, forced. Compunction, remorseful feeling. Compute, to ascertain by mathematical calculation. Concede, to surrender. Conceit, self-flattering opinion. Conceive, to form an idea, mental image, or thought of. Concerto, a musical composition. Concession, anything granted or yielded or admitted in response to a demand, petition, or claim. Conciliate, to obtain the friendship of. Conciliatory, tending to reconcile. Conclusive, sufficient to convince or decide. Concord, harmony. Concordance, harmony. Concur, to agree. Concurrence, agreement. Concurrent, occurring or acting together. Concussion, a violent shock to some organ by a fall or a sudden blow. Condensation, the act or process of making dense or denser. Condense, to abridge. Condescend, to come down voluntarily to equal terms with inferiors. Condolence, expression of sympathy with a person in pain, sorrow, or misfortune. Conduce, to bring about. Conducive, contributing to an end. Conductible, capable of being conducted or transmitted. Conduit, a means for conducting something, particularly a tube, pipe, or passageway for a fluid. Confectionery, the candy collectively that a confectioner makes or sells as candy. Confederacy, a number of states or persons in compact or league with each other, as for mutual aid. Confederate, one who is united with others in a league, compact, or agreement. Confer, to bestow. Conferee, a person with whom another confers. Confessor, a spiritual advisor. Confidant, one to whom secrets are entrusted. Confide, to reveal in trust or confidence. Confidence, the state or feeling of trust in or reliance upon another. Confident, assured. Confinement, restriction within limits or boundaries. Confiscate, to appropriate private property as forfeited to the public use or treasury. Conflagration, a great fire, as of many buildings, a forest, or the like. Confluence, the place where streams meet. Confluent, a stream that unites with another. Conformance, the act or state of conforming. Conformable, harmonious. Conformation, general structure, form, or outline. Conformity, correspondence in form, manner, or use. Confront, to encounter as difficulties or obstacles. Congeal, to coagulate. Congenial, having kindred character or tastes. Congest, to collect into a mass. Congregate, to bring together into a crowd. Coniferous, cone-bearing trees. Conjecture, a guess. Conjoin, to unite. Conjugal, pertaining to marriage, marital rights, or married persons. Conjugate, joined together in pairs. Conjugation, the state or condition of being joined together. Conjunction, the state of being joined together or the things so joined. Connive, to be in collusion. Connoisseur, a critical judge of art, especially one with thorough knowledge and sound judgment of art. Connote, to mean, signify. Connubial, pertaining to marriage or matrimony. Conquer, to overcome by force. Consanguineous, descended from the same parent or ancestor. Conscience, the faculty in man by which he distinguishes between right and wrong in character and conduct. Conscientious, governed by moral standard. Conscious, aware that one lives, feels, and thinks. Conscript, to force into military service. Consecrate, to set apart as sacred. Consecutive, following in uninterrupted succession. Consensus, a collective unanimous opinion of a number of persons. Conservatism, tendency to adhere to the existing order of things. Conservative, adhering to the existing order of things. Conservatory, an institution for instruction and training in music and declamation. Consign, to entrust. Consignee, a person to whom goods or other property has been entrusted. Consigner, one who entrusts. Consistency, a state of permanence. Console, to comfort. Consolidate, to combine into one body or system. Consonance, the state or quality of being in accord with. Consonant, being in agreement or harmony with. Consort, a companion or associate. Conspicuous, clearly visible. Conspirator, one who agrees with others to cooperate in accomplishing some unlawful purpose. Conspire, to plot. Constable, an officer whose duty is to maintain the peace. Constellation, an arbitrary assemblage or group of stars. Consternation, panic. Constituency, the inhabitants or voters in a district represented in a legislative body. Constituent, one who has the right to vote at an election. Constrict, to bind. Consul, an officer appointed to reside in a foreign city, chiefly to represent his country. Consulate, the place in which a consul transacts official business. Consummate, to bring to completion. Consumption, gradual destruction, as by burning, eating, etc., or by using up, wearing out, etc. Consumptive, designed for gradual destruction. Contagion, the communication of disease from person to person. Contagious, transmitting disease. Contaminate, to pollute. Contemplate, to consider thoughtfully. Contemporaneous, living, occurring, or existing at the same time. Contemporary, living or existing at the same time. Contemptible, worthy of scorn or disdain. Contemptuous, disdainful. Contender, one who exerts oneself in opposition or rivalry. Contiguity, proximity. Contiguous, touching or joining at the edge or boundary. Continence, self-restraint with respect to desires, appetites, and passion. Contingency, possibility of happening. Contingent, not predictable. Continuance, permanence. Continuation, prolongation. Continuity, uninterrupted connection in space-time operation or development. Continuous, connected, extended, or prolonged without separation or interruption of sequence. Contort, to twist into a misshapen form. Contraband, trade forbidden by law or treaty. Contradiction, the assertion of the opposite of that which has been said. Contradictory, inconsistent with itself. Contraposition, a placing opposite. Contravene, to prevent or obstruct the operation of. Contribution, the act of giving for a common purpose. Contributor, one who gives or furnishes, in common with others, for a common purpose. Contrite, broken in spirit because of a sense of sin. Contrivance, the act of planning, devising, inventing, or adapting something to or for a special purpose. Contrive, to manage or carry through by some device or scheme. Control, to exercise a directing, restraining, or governing influence over. Controller, one who or that which regulates or directs. Contumacious, rebellious. Contumacy, contemptuous disregard of the requirements of rightful authority. Contuse, to bruise by a blow, either with or without the breaking of the skin. Contusion, a bruise. Convalesce, to recover after a sickness. Convalescence, the state of progressive restoration to health and strength after the cessation of disease. Convalescent, recovering health after sickness. Convene, to summon or cause to assemble. Convenience, fitness as of time or place. Converge, to cause to incline and approach nearer together. Convergent, tending to one point. Conversant, thoroughly informed. Conversion, change from one state or position to another, or from one form to another. Convertible, interchangeable. Convex, curving like the segment of the globe or of the surface of a circle. Conveyance, that by which anything is transported. Convivial, devoted to feasting or to good fellowship in eating or drinking. Convolution, a winding motion. Convolve, to move with a circling or winding motion. Convoy, a protecting force accompanying property in course of transportation. Convulse, to cause spasms in. Convulsion, a violent and abnormal muscular contraction of the body. Copious, plenteous. Coquette, a flirt. Cornice, An ornamental molding running around the walls of a room close to the ceiling. Cornucopia. The horn of plenty, symbolizing peace and prosperity. Corollary. A proposition following so obviously from another that it requires little demonstration. Coronation. The act or ceremony of crowning a monarch. Coronet. Inferior crown, denoting, according to its form, various degrees of noble rank less than sovereign. Corporal. Belonging or relating to the body as opposed to the mind. Corporate. Belonging to a corporation. Corporeal. Of a material nature, physical. Corps. A number or a body of persons in some way associated or acting together. Corpse. A dead body. Corpulent. Obese. Corpuscle. A minute particle of matter. Correlate. To put in some relation of connection or correspondence. Correlative. Mutually involving or implying one another. Corrigible. Capable of reformation. Corroborate. To strengthen as proof or conviction. Corroboration. Confirmation. Corrode. To ruin or destroy little by little. Corrosion. Gradual decay by crumbling or surface disintegration. Corrosive. That which causes gradual decay by crumbling or surface disintegration. Corruptible. Open to bribery. Corruption. Loss of purity or integrity. Cosmetic. Pertaining to the art of beautifying, especially the complexion. Cosmic. Pertaining to the universe. Cosmogony. A doctrine of creation or of the origin of the universe. Cosmography. The science that describes the universe, including astronomy, geography, and geology. Cosmology. The general science of the universe. Cosmopolitan. Common to all the world. Cosmopolitanism. A cosmopolitan character. Cosmos. The world or universe considered as a system, perfect in order and arrangement. Counterclaim. A cross-demand alleged by a defendant in his favor against the plaintiff. Counteract. To act in opposition to. Counterbalance. To oppose with an equal force. Countercharge. To accuse in return. Counterfeit. Made to resemble something else. Counterpart. Something taken with another for the completion of either. Countervail. To offset. Counting house. A house or office used for transacting business, bookkeeping, correspondence, etc. Countryman. A rustic. Courageous. Brave. Course. Line of motion or direction. Courser. A fleet and spirited horse. Courtesy. Politeness originating in kindness and exercised habitually. Covenant. An agreement entered into by two or more persons or parties. Covert. Concealed, especially for an evil purpose. Covey. A flock of quails or partridges. Cower. To crouch down tremblingly, as through fear or shame. Coxswain. One who steers a rowboat or one who has charge of a ship's boat and its crew under an officer. Crag. A rugged, rocky projection on a cliff or ledge. Cranium. The skull of an animal, especially that part enclosing the brain. Crass. Coarse or thick in nature or structure, as opposed to thin or fine. Craving. A vehement desire. Creak. A sharp, harsh, squeaking sound. Creamery. A butter-making establishment. Creamy. Resembling or containing cream. Credence. Belief. Credible. Believable. Credulous. Easily deceived. Creed. A formal summary of fundamental points of religious belief. Crematory, a place for cremating dead bodies. Crevasse, a deep crack or fissure in the ice of a glacier. Crevice, a small fissure as between two contiguous surfaces. Criterion, a standard by which to determine the correctness of a judgment or conclusion. Critique, a criticism or critical review. Crockery, earthenware made from baked clay. Crucible, a trying and purifying test or agency. Crusade, any concerted movement vigorously prosecuted in behalf of an idea or principle. Crustacean, pertaining to a division of arthropods containing lobsters, crabs, crawfish, etc. Crustaceous, having a crust-like shell. Cryptogram, anything written in characters that are secret or so arranged as to have hidden meaning. Crystallize, to bring together or give fixed shape to. Cudgel, a short, thick stick used as a club. Culinary, of or pertaining to cooking or the kitchen. Cull, to pick or sort out from the rest. Culpable, guilty. Culprit, a guilty person. Culvert, any artificial covered channel for the passage of water through a bank or under a road, canal. Cupidity, avarice. Curable, capable of being remedied or corrected. Curator, a person having charge as of a library or museum. Curio, a piece of bric-a-brac. Cursive, writing in which the letters are joined together. Cursory, rapid and superficial. Curt, concise, compressed, and abrupt in act or expression. Curtail, to cut off or cut short. Curtsy, a downward movement of the body by bending the knees. Cycloid, like a circle. Cygnet, a young swan. Cynical, exhibiting moral skepticism. Cynicism, contempt for the opinions of others and of what others value. Cynosure, that to which general interest or attention is directed. Daring,